Hi, this is my Module 7 discussion for Chapter 10. I'll be answering questions 1 and 2. Question 1, discuss the relationship between leadership and power as discussed in the text. So page 239 gives a definition of leadership as a dynamic relationship based on mutual influence and common purpose between leaders and collaborators in which both are moved to higher levels of motivation and moral developments as they affect real intended change. So one of the many things that can make or break you as a leader is utilizing the power that's available. The book describes 6 different types of power. There's legitimate power. This is based on a position of authority. Coercive power, the ability to control one's behavior with negative reinforcement. Reward power, the ability to control behavior with positive reinforcements. Expert power is based on one's superior expertise in a specific field. Referent power, you give to someone because you want them to like you. And connection power, based on the old expression, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so the text says that by examining these different types of powers, it reveals the critical differences between managers and leaders. Manager is a title that holds legitimate power. Leaders may be managers and have legitimate power, but neither is a requirement for leadership. Leadership is influencing and guiding followers as opposed to subordinates, as well as being innovative in creating a vision for the future. So an effective leader will use these different types of powers to influence and create a common purpose of their followers. So in my experience, I wouldn't say that I've had a leader that kind of fits the definition given in the textbook. I would say that the leadership I've experienced has been managers using their status or their legitimate power to kind of rule over us. Yeah, that's just my experience. So I would say that the different experiences that I've had in my life versus what the book describes as effective leadership is probably because in my life I've held jobs that would be considered not necessarily entry level, but low paying positions. Food service or retail, healthcare, and so I think that a lot of times that comes with the leadership style of a Theory X manager. They kind of view us as disliking work and that we need to be kind of bossed around in an authoritative style, versus, maybe positions like in a career field, in a more professional setting. You're just going to have a whole different dynamic. And so I think that's why I've had, okay, I think that last part cut off. I'm moving on to question 2. Um, Explore how behavioral, situational, and transformational theories of leadership can help us understand conflict within our organizations and ultimately help improve problematic situations. So I think that most communication problems and conflict, problematic situations within an organization normally stem from a lack of communication, a breakdown in communication, poor communication, no communication. It all stems from communication. And having effective two-way communication within the organization um, will ultimately lead to a more cohesive atmosphere. So these different theories can help us understand our management leadership styles and decide if the one we're choosing is effective for the situation or if it's effective for the people involved. Um, the behavioral theories, such as the authoritative, the laissez-faire, the democratic, and the leadership styles of Theory X and Theory Y managers. These really, I think, help us understand what kind of manager we are or what kind of leader we are. How are we approaching this conflict? At my work at the bar, I would say that most times when there's conflict or problematic situations within the organization, um, the boss takes an authoritative style. He simply makes all the decisions. We don't have a lot of input. Um, we definitely don't have a vote. And I'd say he manages in the style of Theory X. He kind of, I don't know, almost looks down upon us. Is not trying to make a real cohesive atmosphere for anybody. Um, he kind of demands things of us. The situational leadership theories, these include the managerial grid, the contingency theory, and the situational leadership theory. These are really effective at helping us identify, um, how either the manager or leader or us as a manager or leader really looks at each situation and then determines the best way to proceed, the best style um, to use. And let's see. So at my work at the bar, um, if my boss were to um, utilize these situational leadership theories, when there's a problem, kind of gauge, um, the concern for people and the concern for the task and kind of see where it falls instead of just concern for the task. He kind of has no regard for the people, I feel like. Um, or if he would assess the situation before, choosing his course of action. Um, I think that would be helpful in resolving the conflict. Um, the transformational leaders, the text states as leaders who articulate a goal or vision to an organization and then inspire followers to make that vision a reality, requiring them to transcend their own personal interests for the good of the organization. Um, I don't think in my experience I've experienced a transformational leader. Um, so I don't really have too much to say on that matter. Um, but okay, I'm going to wrap up my discussion. Thanks for watching.